Welcome to the Mind and Body Shop. This is Alfredo Zapata, and in this episode, we're gonna talk about higher frequency. Thanks so much for being here. And that higher frequency is something that it really got me so excited. And I'm gonna tell you in a minute why. Because when I think about higher frequency, I feel like you know, back in the day, I think it was in the '70s when the disco music and all that stuff. I'm pretty fan about high fidelity and the disco music and everything. And I was fortunate to listen a lot of good disco music. There was no commercial. It was from Canada and Australia, and there was some from US as well. But it was that music. They kind of take you to somewhere else to really make you feel the orchestra, the keyboards and everything, and it was so rich with that movement, kind of like a jazz fusion or something. But it was so exciting just to listen to that. And I grew up listening to the Beatles and other kind of songs in Mexico, and actually that's when I started listening a little more to English music and trying to read things, even though I didn't know how. But in terms of higher frequency, I feel like that is kind of something that electrify yourself, like a surge of energy that kind of lights you up, like in the movies, the special effects movies. And I think sometimes we don't kind of comprehend what it means frequency. And as humans, as anything that is in this planet, it has vibration. It has these vibrations that we don't know where are they but they exist. And that takes so much of thinking and saying that, yeah, even a piece of paper has vibration, our bodies have vibration, our thoughts create that vibration. And it's a paradigm. I'm studying something with this renowned communicator Bob Proctor, and talks about a lot of those paradigms that we get in our mind and growing up. And in this case, the higher frequency that we should be aiming to vibrate, so we can make things happen and really shift away whatever we had ingrained unconsciously. Because sometimes we get very off track when we have those type of situations, and that's very difficult to get out of those if we don't stop and think about it and how that can benefit our lives, and especially the health. Because remember, in the Mind and Body Shop, I will always mention the ways that you and I can take care of our mind and body health, so we can enjoy life and do great things and share with others. And I think sometimes this paradigm of like a person that is inside of you, telling you constantly, talking to you, but against you, like saying, you can't do this, you're not good enough, don't do it, no now, how are you going to do it? And in terms of like, just the material things, like, the money, even the money has vibration. But we're talking about health. In this case, you're not good enough. You don't know how. You're wasting your time. It's not the right time. So all those things constantly in our subconscious mind keep on playing. It's like a loop. In some cases is very dramatic, because that's how we got that information since we were very young. And now, even though we have the information, we have the facts. Well, if you eat well, if you exercise, you're gonna have a better mind, a clear mind, more energy, and you're gonna look better, and then you're gonna do great things. It's kind of like 1 plus 1 equals 2. But in this case, we're talking about some of those paradigms that are not real. They've been just there installed, like when you download an app on your telephone and that app has a virus, or or maybe it doesn't have a virus, but it start messing up with your operating system, which is your mind, and start playing tricks on you. Sometimes at different stages, in your life, and sometimes it never goes away because we never stop and think that that paradigm, it doesn't exist. It's been installed in you. And my question is, what do you really want for your health? That's the main thing to begin. Because if you continue listening to that voice that says you can't do it, you don't have the money to do it, you don't have the ability to do it, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you're wasting your time. It's not the right time. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think happens every year for the past, I will say, 60 years, since physical activity started being part of a healthy individual? What happened? What happened in the beginning of the year? In the first month of the year, of every year, in practically all the world countries, people start looking at, oh, I haven't done it, I need to do it now, and this is my resolution. I'm committing myself. I'm in a program. I got tied up with my friend, my spouse, my community, or some type of person, because it's challenged me and because everybody is looking to do something that they haven't done and feeling guilty in a way. So you see, they keep on repeating that in a community. It's like a massive person doing a broadcast to everybody, telling them, you don't have the money, you don't know how, you're wasting your time, it's not the right time, but you have to do it because everybody is doing it anyway. It's kind of like a trend. It's like what happens now with Black Friday, just kind of for a quick comparison. People just want to spend the money because on that day they're going to put something very reduced price, and even if you don't need it, you need to buy it because everybody is going to do it, and the marketing is going to bombarding you. So in your mind it's like, well, you cannot do it, but you have a credit card. Well, you have some Christmas money, or you have, or even some people, they take a loan with the low interest because the marketing say, well, in Christmas, if you don't have money to buy presents, you're gonna be a very outcast person. So we give you the loan you want with the low interest, but get the money. We lend you the money. So people say, oh yeah, I hear the voice saying they cannot do it, but I find the way. So you cannot go around, but you're going into the into the wrong place to continue avoiding that voice, not knowing that you need to stop first and realize that that paradigm is not real and that is not helping you to really fulfill your internal desire, your real desire. Because everybody who's an adult with a common sense, just normal common sense, is gonna be focusing on being good, being able to do things and things that they want, right? So health, in this case, is something important, and not just because you feel good. you're not going to do nothing. You are going to be looking to survive, but not just barely, but to feel good. And because that's part of how in your mind is going to feel that satisfaction and saying, well, I feel great. Yeah, I can jump. I can achieve things. See? Then you start reprogramming and you start really having your vision expand to a different level, vibrating to a higher frequency. And then you start noticing that that is really the whole point of being healthy and reaching all your goals in life. Because you remember that I continue repeating in my previous podcast. If you feel good and you look good, you're going to have even greater motivation to do great things. So your frequency is going to be higher. So the end result is going to be achieving things that you probably didn't think about. Why? Because you shift that paradigm and then you start continue repeating that desire that you have, but also the steps that you already done, not necessarily what is gonna be the difficult thing to get there, but you're gonna be already positioning yourself into that state of mind and achievement. So you're gonna feel like, wow, I'm really walking like the person I wanted to become. I just uh, got this thought on this song in the 80s. There was a disco. There was this group playing this song, and I was kind of just trying to relate it in a funny way. And the name of the song is "Walk like an Egyptian." And obviously, you know, for the ones who are not Egyptian, but how they do this video is very graphic, and it's funny, and see how people in that video also who are now Egyptians trying to walk like an Egyptian. So you start, you see the point. You start acting like the person you want to become. So your mind start shifting how you think, and you're gonna be more careful. And that little red uh, flash is gonna come up easily in your mind to detect when you start getting this little voice saying, you don't have the money, you don't know how, you're wasting your time, because you already have that vision and your vibration is so high that you're gonna say, I don't care about that thing. I'm already into that game. What happens when you're so excited? For people who like um, team sports, you know, currently I like to watch sports, but I'm not a fan of like a team sports. But I like a good fight, a boxing match or martial arts, which I was brought up, or maybe some a bodybuilding competition, a gymnastics, things like that. They require one person to be the one they really pursue and continue to do this practice to excel and to get a prize. And that's when it really start feeling that fulfillment, that satisfaction that it is possible to do it and everybody is capable. But we need to do this little assessment first to see what is the voice that we always hear telling us. If it's already saying the restrictions that you can't, that you don't know how, that you don't have this, or that it's not your priority, then you start really getting into the same boat that many people for many years have been, and they keep repeating themselves into that. not in a loud voice, but right here in your mind. So that really gets you off of what this high frequency vibration need to be in your daily activity in your life. And Bob talks about writing that particular goal that you working on, so you continue to see it and continue to have that mindset program what you really want, and not to listen the other one. And I'm talking about not just the voice that you listen here, but the one that in your surroundings is kind of flashing in many places as you walk. Like on those movies, the voices telling you something, like someone walking on the dark road, and you hear these ghosts or different sounds of scary voices that keep you afraid, right? So if you keep on focus with that particular tools and doing those key elements to remind yourself that you're capable, your vibration will continue to be higher. And then when it lowers, you will know how to start it back up. Because we all have, good moments, bad moments, sometimes, some situations at work and with the family, with the relationships and in different places. And sometimes our frequency may be low, but we already know once we put in place this particular technique, so we can pick up ourselves, because no one can get into our brain and help us do that. We have to do it ourselves. Remember, we're capable. Just to be alive, that's an incredible success, because among millions of cells, there was one that was able to connect with the other cell and start developing the person that we are right now. So being alive is totally a success. So we're capable to really have that incredible frequency to revamp or to maintain, because that's the way we can achieve, number one, control over our thoughts, and the number two, be looking up for improving our health, mental, because it has to do with the mind, how we think, and the other one is how we do that for our body. And remember that our mind, our brain, and our body are connected, so we're not detached. And I think I mentioned it before, and I continue to repeat that to even some of the clients and some of the students that I have in all these years of working with people in their health and mind, that we're connected. The mind and the body are connected. So we cannot take it apart like those Legos that you take the head and you put another body, because we're one. And when we realize that, we're able to say, okay, I need to get my mind in tune and do these particular techniques, so I can continue to pursue that higher frequency in my life, so I can control what I think and repel when I get the negative and the old files that kind of open up sometimes and kind of try to suck us in, like those movies. They have special effects, like, well, you know what I'm talking about. To have that control is really the ultimate goal, and that's what I'm constantly working And especially now because I'm doing this program with Bob, I thought about talking about higher frequency and shifted into the health of your mind and your body. Because remember, the here and the mind and body shop, that's what I'm going to continue to talk in different ways for you to have an incredible life, because you're going to be really working on how to do it and being able to expand all your talents and your incredible vision, because you can develop an incredible vision to do greater things when your frequency is high. So remember that. And you can reach me in Alfredo Zapata Coach in Instagram. That's the main platform that I'm really sharing with many people everything that I've been learning for the past 30 years. And I continue to learn from people, even for people who are listening and they send comments, or people that I talk to on the phone, or some of the projects that I'm doing in terms of different areas. It's amazing. I just spoke with somebody in another country, Nigeria, and probably you're gonna hear from her too, because we're working on a challenge, body challenge transformation. And people can really see the benefit and see someone who was in a particular position, and how that transition start moving her towards achieving her goals, and start now being able to spread to the world, to the young generations, a great concept of looking after your mind and your body health. So that really give us the end of this podcast with a higher frequency, vibrating in a higher frequency. Just imagine that there is how you project yourself every day. And when you start thinking about that, and you start positioning that goal that you wanted to achieve, you start kind of connecting, kind of like in an invisible wave that really has power, that trespasses walls, distance, countries. It goes around everywhere, and you can communicate it through the internet or with your mind, with your thoughts. So remember that. And if you find value on this podcast, share it. Send your comments. Remember that we're in different platforms. We're Spotify, Roku, Apple TV, Google Podcasts, and different other platforms, so we can be connected with you. And remember, if you're interested and you have questions, send me a DM at Alfredo Zapata Coach in Instagram. And I hope you have a great day, and talk to you next week. Bye bye.